how they do it?
Oh yes, the sprite on the left absolutely is a mouse pointer, and
yes,
it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Garfield is not the worst sprite either, but I mean, just look at this sprite here.
Yeah.
The cursor sprite.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so great.
All right, so piece of art to start. Nothing too exciting.
Alright, so both of our runners now into the escape. What's our weapon today? It is a bow.
Ooh. Pretty much everybody's favorite.
Yeah, basically. Not only does it give you a massive amount of ammunition with which to farm some bombs, it also kills things in a lot quicker fashion, and gives you access to Eastern Palace right away, as well as potential access to Pod later on.
Yeah, which of course generally means one or both are going to be pendants, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Now, if I know anything about the algorithm, the pendants and crystals are actually chosen before any items are placed. So there's really no correlation, except for the fact that it might place items you want in those dungeons because the bow is at the uncle.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
So the pendant crystal situation doesn't change when you find the bow, but the required item situation can increase. So we've got 50 rupees in the first chest down in the dungeon area as we head toward Zelda's cell. And we... Oh, a little bit of a miss there, but
That's
no actual problem.
No.
We've got plenty of ammunition. We got a couple of keys there in that boomerang room. I don't think this is going to work the way you want it to, Myth. You got to be on the same layer.
Well, kind of important.
Of course, not everybody is familiar with layer mechanics in this game.
Understandably, the way that this game is programmed.
So, Puchiedarcy was going on the ball and chain guard with what I like to call the pot shot strats.
Yeah, that's a good
pot
one.
and take 2 shots.
Yeah.
With the bow. And it turns out that Zelda's cell has 3 bombs in it, so we will not be needing to see any farming for the rest of this run.
Be interested to see if we do anyway, just a little bit, but yeah, that's convenient, isn't it?
So, Puchiedarcy now making it out of the basement area, heading toward the front lobby here. We might see a little more farming, but no, we're just going to head straight to the back of Escape, which seems like a perfectly reasonable strategy to me.
Yeah, really smooth here by Pucci. Back into the foyer of the castle by the 4-minute mark. Very good time.
Yep, most runners tend to be going for about a 6-minute time getting out of Escape. You can't push it from that side, Pucci.
That might affect your time a little bit.
Just a couple seconds.
Yeah, but I'm
happens.
thinking keeping this pace up, we ought to be looking at a 550 or so out of Pucci. So we'll see if that holds up.
Yep. Now, like if you're doing an NMG run, 6 minutes is generally pretty good. Below that is phenomenal. But
Yeah,
also
of course.
in this particular run, you have a few extra things you have to do, right?
Yeah,
you
you're checking everything.
Yeah. But in the NMG run, you have a lot of extra text.
Right. Yeah, it kind of balances between the two. Lots of button mashing to get through that text. There we go.
Pucci takes down the true final boss of Escape with a single arrow to the face. And here we are into the back of Escape. 3 chests, 10 arrows, burrito, and flute. All right,
Finally.
so very important, those first 3 chests.
Finally, we see something down here.
And of course, there's still one more chest in the Sanctuary that's still technically part of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
So we'll get to see what that is, and then the world will be open to our runners. Although 99.9% of the time, everyone's going towards Kakariko Village.
True, no reason not to. All right, so...
And everybody's favorite Big 20 rears its ugly head for the first game.
We'll be seeing a few more of those, won't we?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the other 26 could be in GT. Not really. That's actually impossible.
Ooh, and Pucci going straight, possibly to Lost Woods, rather tthan checking the Lumberjack Cave. Yep.
That is an interesting strategy and can pay off. I know a lot of people either, do it consistently one way or the other. And some people actually have a condition, like if I have boots or if I have
enough
sword
resources,
or something, I'll go.
Yeah, that seems like maybe the best way to play it. Obviously, if you want tree pulls, if you want to check the bush crab and see if he's got anything good, it's good to head up as well. But if you've already got 10 bombs and nearly 100 rupees, you don't really need the extra stuff that you get. And if boots do come up, you can always just check the cave later. So Pucci's saving a little time here, but we will be interested to see what turns up here for Myth. And the answer is...
5 rupees.
Yeah, not very exciting.
Basically insulting.
Pucci ducking into the White House next to Blind's hut.
Yeah, for those of you
peeking in there,
unaware of the lore, that is actually Sahasrah's house.
Yes. The
And
longhouse, I suppose it is.
His wife lives in there. That being said, most of the time I only see people go in there in entrance shovel.
In entrance Randomizer, yeah.
Definitely a thing.
And there's the hammer and the shovel, so...
Well, we got garden tools for days over here.
Back to back. Oh, and some money, so... After a slow start, the seed's equipping our runners a little bit more.
Everybody come on down to Blind's Hardware Hut for all your gardening tool needs.
Ooh, and the tier 1 tree pull, 20 rupees times 4, so not too shabby.
If we need to get money anytime soon, these runners will have no problem.
It's not looking like they will.
Medallion.
Yeah.
And glove. So, glove, hammer. Now we're just missing the pearl.
Yeah. Looking like the Aghanim dream is dead on arrival, pretty much.
Yeah, we would basically need Moon Pearl on Pyramid to require Aghanim at this point.
And there's a cape, so that's an interesting item to be out there when we're thinking no to Aghanim.
Yeah. When I have hammer and glove at that point, I'm always thinking, this is probably pointing me to Bumper Cave. Maybe I should come check Skull Woods and then check that as soon as I can. That being said, I do want to say hi to everybody's favorite swag duck. Hi. Ooh, that is a sword.
So it is. So really nice resources here early for our runners. Really just missing the bottle to check with Sick Kid here. Otherwise, about as complete as you can ask for by the end of...
I was just waiting for that tavern chest to be a bottle. Yeah. I was just really waiting for it. Didn't happen, though.
No.
Alright, so let's go check what the library has. There's the Moon Pearl. Okay, so I stand corrected. We now need exactly boots on Pyramid for Agate to be alive.
Yes, or like mushroom. That would also work if it led to boots. And yeah, Poochie gonna go ahead and check this dig spot. Absolutely makes sense. Yes, it's a little bit of a time commitment, but you're in the first quote-unquote sphere of items.
I mean, what if it's the boots?
Exactly. And then you're going to dash right back down and have Dark World access, so...
It's not.
It's not, although he should probably... Oh, he fluted too soon, so unable to grab those 50 rupees. Be interesting to see if that makes a difference.
It should be okay, but maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah. Poochie playing the song of his people.
There you go.
In the den.
It's a fine damn song. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, how about the Canis of Maria?
That is a fine damn thing.
Yes, it is. So, a little more glove upgrade action, and these guys will be able to go into Misery Mire very early and finish it potentially if Bombos Medallion is the one that it needs. Let's see what the generous guy has for us. Still waiting, guy. Well,
somehow I don't qualify that as generous. It seemed more along the lines of what we might call cheapskate.
Yeah, kind of throwing the trash into a few chests so that someone else can collect them.
Yeah, and I mean, he himself handed you only a green rupee, which is, just kind of insulting. That being said, there was a bottle with a fairy in there, so that does give us one more location.
Yeah, could be something, and it's a quick check with the flute. Just make a real nice and easy. Oh, barely got the bomb off.
Poochie taking some significant damage over here from that encounter.
Yeah, those OP crabs. Yep, just 5 rupees in Ice Rock Caves. So
man, if Poochie had picked up that 50,
yeah,
he'd be on 499.
Yeah.
That being said, I still don't think you fake Flipper at this point. Because
well, yeah, not having the Moon Pearl. Yeah,
you don't have the Moon Pearl.
Or the
the boots are going to be required to get the Moon Pearl, so both of your extra special ways to get to the Waterfall Cave are not going to be anywhere around here.
Yeah, not worth it. Absolutely not. Might not be worth it anyway, but especially not now.
I'm calling boots on Sick Kid right now.
It definitely fits, doesn't it? Could see that one. Be interested to see if Myth decides a different path from Poochie.
Oh, boots on Zora. That's a thing.
It's definitely a thing. Oh, silver arrows.
Zaha's closet.
How convenient when the bow is the item you received from your uncle.
Well, we have our weapon of mass destruction now. We can just get out there and destroy basically everything with it.
Yeah. No, it looks like Myth retracing Poochie's steps. Off to find his $5. And
And we did have a map check at one point. We note that Eastern Palace is a crystal.
Yes. No lantern yet, though, for these runners, so...
If they want to finish the dungeon, they will have to potentially navigate a dark room or two. Or three, if you technically count the first room as 2 rooms.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, 2 out of our 3 medallions already. 15 minutes in. Oh, and Myth making the play on Sick Kid. Let's see what happens, Dr. Bob.
Oh, just a piece of heart.
Yeah.
So much for my call.
I liked your call. I'm disappointed. Oh, and Myth now headed to the desert to check what's on the ledge.
Yeah, and potentially Agina's cave.
Yeah.
Oh, there are the boots.
There they
Eastern
are.
Palace. So this is looking like maybe a logic-required double dip into Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
With those boots being there and perhaps the lamp somewhere in the dark world. That being said...
Who's going to do that if they don't have to?
No.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you don't have to, you're not doing it.
Those boots
Half
are...
magic in a
Oh,
gamer's
wow!
game.
That is potentially very big.
I mean, it's not like completely game ending, but it is certainly game changing.
Yeah. Now where is Myth going? He's got the flute back out.
Could be going to Eastern via 5, or he could be going
5.
to Death Mountain.
No, you're right. Eastern by a 5. Interesting choice when you've got to visit Sastrala. It doesn't feel like it's quicker, unless he's going to do it in reverse order. No, headed to the left.
Yeah. You can at least take this staircase right here, which is a little shorter.
True. Alright. Poochie's got that key, getting his way through.
Turns out that Ice Palace is our green pendant, so we have our dungeons actually laid out for us today.
Yeah.
We're going to need to Eastern, Pods, Swamp, Skullwoods, Thievestown, Mire, and Turtle Rock.
I imagine most runners happy to know that Ice Palace is a pendant, at least in the sense that they feel like they hopefully don't have to go there. Alright, on 3 hearts, Poochie, of course, does have that fairy, but... Ooh, nicely done.
Poochie also correctly recognizing that he actually managed to get all 3 items in the first 3 chests.
Yes.
And I didn't recognize that until he pulled up his menu. It was like, oh, okay, he doesn't have map or compass, so he's just heading right to Armos.
Yep, nicely done. Nice little time save. It's not a huge deal not going down and checking that big chest, but every little bit counts. The silver arrow machine gunning already beginning.
Nice little spin to take out those popos and a double silver shot to kill those Igors, and now it's time for a massacre of bouncing knights.
A true piece of cake when you've got these silver arrows. It makes it so much simpler. And crystal number 1, shy of 20 minutes, goes to puchiedarcy, so very nicely done.
That being said, with the round shape that the Armos are bouncing in, I think it's more of a piece of pie.
Hey, 3.14 pieces of pie.
All right. So, Poochie now fluting away, potentially... Okay, going to 3, gonna check the Sick Kid, I imagine.
Yeah. Check the Sick Kid, bonk the shelf in the library, and then maybe head back up and go into the Dark World via the Village of Outcast portal. We'll see.
And that is a possibility. The flute also gives them access to part of Death Mountain. It's not like a whole ton of Death Mountain, though, so you never know. Though sometimes people want to go ahead and do that so they can rescue the old man.
Sure.
And set up that save and quit point.
It is convenient, that's for sure. Oh, Poochie now going to do bonk rocks and check the lumberjack item.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably good to get out of the way. Arguably, you could wait to check... Oh, and not going to check bonk rocks. You could wait to check it until you have the mirror and then do it when you're in this part of the dark world, but...
Yeah, interesting call not to check the bonk rocks yet, but...
If you're already on your way up, yeah.
I think he's maybe taking care of this, because he knows he's got sword and cape, and he's like...
Right.
He wants to make sure that Aghanim is ruled out. And here comes the bonk rocks check, I imagine.
Hopefully so. Yeah, it looks like it. Myth making a good play here, being a little low on health to grab a fairy.
He's also got another fairy in that bottle, so he can manage to survive. Otherwise, Poochie picks up another 50 rupees in the bonk rocks. That gets him to Zora money. Looks like Poochie is going to head for Hype Cave.
Myth having a little trouble in here with the Igor. He's gotten 3 Master Sword hits on him, or Fighter Sword rather, so that's out of 8, I believe. If he can keep it up. And there, finally got him. Probably some spins were in there too.
Alright, so we see that our 5 and 6 crystals are in fact Skull Woods and Turtle Rock.
Interesting combination. So we can be absolutely certain neither the Fire Rod nor the Ice Rod are going to be in the pyramid. Myth dropping back out to grab another fairy, and hey, why not? Well, there's a Fire Rod there!
Fire Rod in Hype Cave, and a red boomerang, and progressively worse as we went back.
Yeah, really. It's like the trailing off enthusiasm cave.
So, required, nice to have, meh, meh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so we've got Stumpsman over here.
Big 20. Alright, Myth now on the way into the Armos fights.
And that back room of Eastern, the dark one there, can be way trickier than a lot of people let on.
It really is. You get misaligned with that Igor, and it can just ruin your day.
You know what the actual final boss of that room is? It's the pot.
That's another, brick. Yes, it's a great point. You think you're on it, and for whatever reason, Link just refuses to pick it up and move it out of the way.
Turns out you can actually be too high to lift the pot.
And that is what it is, that's right.
So, nothing of great use at the dig game, and Poochie dashes off screen before saving and quitting, just to make sure that we can not get that text box of shame.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Myth picking up the Moon Pearl, so we'll see how he decides to route from here, and if it resembles Poochie's decisions. Poochie now going to go ahead and go into the Village of Outcasts area. That is what Myth's doing too, so gonna miss the Fire Rod, which is a bit unfortunate for this routing. With Skull Woods right here.
Yep, that is kind of unfortunate. That being said, I don't really feel like doing a 7-heart Fighter Sword Mothula fight.
Good point.
Now, Myth actually would be in a much better place to do that because he's got the half magic to make use of that extra fire rod shots.
Fire rod the heck
Pucci
out of
is
Mothula.
not heading
Yeah.
to Skull Woods. He's going to head down into Village of Outcasts.
Just avoiding it altogether. Probably get at least one more heart just by chance. Checking through all of this stuff.
And yeah, the hammer is going to deal more damage to Moth than Fire Sword,
Just
absolutely.
so tough to use.
But you also have to get up in Mothula's face, and he deals 2 hearts of damage. Good luck.
Yeah, you got that issue. You've got... It's almost impossible to get that hitbox from below. You've got to attack Mothula from the side or the top. Oh, the hook shot in Abominable Hut.
Good old-fashioned hook shot. That makes me feel like Death Mountain is a much, much better place right now.
Yeah, just pick up some more items. You know you're going to get a heart or 2 out of that as well. Sure. Might even find the blue mail somewhere. Be interested to see what each of these runners decides to do. If they want to come back later. Pucci says, no, I'm going to dive in here. There's one of those heart containers.
Yeah,
Also
I think
got one in the C-shaped house, so that's helpful.
I think these runners will probably be plenty comfortable with Thieves Town on this amount of particular stuff.
Yeah, you'd think. You can just get atrociously trolled, though, with green mail. Those green rat-like creatures doing 2 hearts of damage, and all of a sudden 4 or 6 hearts can be gone. As long as nothing goes too terribly wrong, they'll be fine.
And there's the best bunny sprite in the game.
It looks like you're trying to save a princess from the dungeon.
And would you like some help with that? No! Get out! All right. So we found, I believe, 2 items in the first 4 chests. So there's going to be 2 somewhere here in the back.
Yes.
We should not have any trouble getting something if it's in the big chest. Good old hammer is now available for that.
Yeah, it does make the drop into Thieves Town a lot more comfortable. You don't have to rely on the way the items fall to bail you out if you've not got the hammer. Nicely done by Pucci.
Yeah, Pucci employing some cape strats there in the aptly named Hellway.
Yes. Ooh, and our stun drop, incidentally, is just a single rupee, so not terribly useful.
I believe that is, in fact, the vanilla stun drop.
That's correct.
There's the 3rd item here in Thieves Town, just a big 20. So far, just a heart container, a heart piece, and a big 20. So nothing really to write home about just yet.
No, it's a bust so far, but then again, this dungeon, go mode or not, is pretty much the same.
Myth had the God Pixel there for a second,
and got
and he sidestepped it, or he got hit by the starfish.
Yeah. What a shame. All right. Pucci about to grab the fake maiden.
And that's the 4th item, the blue boomerang. So, boomerang fans, rejoice, we've found both of the items.
You are fully equipped.
And, so we now know that the small key to this dungeon is in fact locked inside the big chest.
Yes.
And I believe the map is what's left.
The compass is left.
Okay. I had it backwards.
Alright. Nice and easy first cycle for Pucci. Nicely done on the second. And just finally takes some damage. 6.5 hearts remaining. Got it. Well done.
It had plenty of hearts to spare, and that's the second crystal for puchiedarcy. At about 30 minutes in, that's pretty good. Pretty good pace here.
We are blazing right now, Dr. Bob.
It's a little early for that. Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway.
All right, well, with 9 hearts, Poochie deciding Skull Woods is viable. Lion's trolling Myth a little by going down to the bottom, but Myth is still on full health, so should be fine. One more hit, and there we go. Poochie opting to go straight to the back, which makes some sense when you've got the fire rod and you can complete the back half and then kind of base your item search routing off of that.
Yeah, and to be honest, with the way it's set up, Mothula itself is more likely to have an item than any other spot in the dungeon, because it cannot have a small key.
Alright, Myth now going down the south way that Poochie came up originally after checking Hype Cave, so we'll find the fire rod most likely here in a couple of minutes.
Oh, it looks like Myth got a little held up there and may not actually have enough time to get to the right number of digs here.
I wonder what that was.
It was a lot, is the actual answer to that. Ooh, it was 26.
Hold it off. Alright, here we go. Takes out the hammer, so you know, gotta hit him with it. But instantly 3 hearts of damage, now 4. Oh dear.
He does have the fairy.
Yeah.
And he's gonna end up putting that to use. Also, best death sprite. Best death sprite, not close. Sonic's death sprite is pretty good. This one's better.
Oh. Oh boy. No.
Oh, and puchiedarcy goes down on the moth fight.
That's really the danger of trying to use that hammer. If you can have a little patience, the fighter sword, as weak as it is often a lot more safe of a way to approach that fight.
I will often, when using the fighter sword, use what I call intentional lag strats.
Yeah.
Charge the sword, and then it lags the game a bit, so you have a little more time to react.
Actually think, yeah.
Because I am old.
Alright, so Poochie gonna warp back to the front here with this death. I'll be interested to see if he goes back in. Nope, gonna put off the Mothula fight for now. Myth opting to go ahead and go north from Hype Cave.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Palace of Darkness is kind of sitting over there like, hey, I got 5 items. You want something?
Yeah. And I might have the lantern. I've got an awful lot, it feels like. So, that's another thing. Myth down to 3 hearts, needs to be careful.
Oh, best item on the pyramid.
Very interesting.
We've got the good old-fashioned powder, which is the best.
Yeah, especially when you're still contending with green mail. Nice to have that safety available. And we're going to get a catfish check early, too, so Myth being very thorough just avoids that piece of cabbage.
Yeah, those things are actually my nemesis.
Oh, and it's Myth's nemesis, too.
I never get their movement patterns right.
That stupid
I have
hop.
to read health.
I know, it drives it crazy.
You know, with the new heart colors, I think it would be an interesting idea. Though I don't think that the devs would care to do this because this was too much time.
Yeah.
But it would be an interesting idea to have a setting where you could have the heart color match your male color.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because some of the sprites, it's hard to tell which male you have on at a given time.
All right.
He's going to need to take a death if he wants to do this bomb jump. Oh, I just missed what was on the catfish.
It was 50 rupees.
All right. Good job.
There we go. The compass. So Mathiel has got it. Tough break there.
And so Myth finally checking the bonk rocks. As we know, not going to be particularly helpful,
I
but
thought that was also 50 rupees, so yeah.
So where will Myth be heading next? I feel like this might be a Death Mountain check.
That's definitely the time to do it, and yes, you're right. Gonna go ahead and grab the old man in the dark.
And this is a dark room that a lot of people will go ahead and learn, because it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, certainly is.
I mean, there's a little bit of diagonals, but anyway, sorry, bad jokes.
Poochie charging up that empty bottle with some blue goo.
Yeah. Then Poochie might just decide to head back to Skull Woods just to get revenge.
Yeah, quite possibly. Nope, gotta
Nah,
go up
he's
to Death
going
Mountain
to
too.
Death Mountain.
Yeah. Alright, so now it's Poochie following Myth's footsteps.
Alright, so +5 arrows from the old man, but more importantly, that unlocks the save and quit point, which you can use to get back here after you quit for a bit.
And with the flute, it's a nice, easy HP recovery, and then just walk right out very quick.
There we go. Myth activating the super speed glitch using the hook shot.
So, bomb's up there. We're going to have to go the long way around to get to Hera, and we got blue goo inside Spectacle Rock.
I feel like I would go ahead and get that right here.
That is how Myth feels too, so...
I'd probably get it and then, like, save and quit. Just go to back to the mountain cave and head east.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Since you're going to have to go that way anyway. If I were headed up to Hera, I'd try the little bomb jump here.
Oh no, he's walking back out the other way.
That works.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we might see actually is a spike cave check.
That's an interesting point.
No, he's just heading on to the right side.
Maybe do that after Hera. Alright, Poochie grabs it too. Does decide to save and quit, like you said. I think that's probably the most optimal strat, Dr. Bob.
I mean, now that I think about it, I actually like doing the bomb jump, going to Spike Cave, and then hookshotting across, doing Paradox Cave, Hera, and then doing Spiral Cave after that. That way you can get both Spike Cave and Spiral Cave, and it won't hurt you that much.
That's a good point. Oh!
There's a Titan's Mitts.
On Death Mountain.
That gives us another way to check Spike Cave fairly conveniently.
Definitely.
After we've checked the dark side.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would have saved and quit out of the dark world. That's what I'm saying.
There's the swag nuts. Blue mail, so now all these runners are better.
All right. That'll make the repeat Mothula fight much better. And that is a pair of flippers.
Yes. Loaded Death Mountain so far.
Alright, Myth attempting to set up that bomb jump. Unsuccessful at the moment. Not a big deal, though.
Just gonna go around. Easy enough.
Yeah, so that's the general idea. If you miss the bomb jump the first time, just go around.
Yep, Poochie has the same feelings. Does the same.
The half magic was in Agina's cave, which is
out of the way.
Place that Myth decided to check, and Poochie has left aside. And I can't imagine any scenario in which he decides to use it. Or to check it, that is.
Myth was about to head over to Turtle Rock, but changed his mind.
Yeah, we've still got Hera to look at.
Yeah.
Now, I know some people might actually be reluctant to go into Hera just because it's a pendant dungeon, and why would you want to waste time in pendant dungeons? That being said, it's still 2 possible items.
And it's right here, so yeah, why not? Both runners think it's a good plan. Probably don't like seeing that key, however. Ooh. Is Myth gonna go ahead? No, Myth is gonna leave. Let's see what Poochie does. Poochie's going for it, so this will be a very interesting divergence between the two. What do you think, Dr. Bob? Do you stick around and do this, or do you think it's a better call to just maybe check it later if you need to?
You know, it's really kind of up in the air. I'm not. I know this is pretty much a cop-out answer, but I am. See, I'm very much not comfortable with skipping things, unless I'm like, you know, I've got a couple of items from Go Mode, and there are far more places to check.
Well, they've got a few, especially having just picked up Titan's Mitt. You've got and the Flipper. So you've got Ice Palace, you've got Misery Mire, and the Shed. You've got, what else do you have? You've got the Village of Outcasts stuff you can do now, like Froggy and Peg Cave and the like.
There's a fairly large amount of stuff you can check.
And then, of course, what Myth's doing now, the rest of Death Mountain, just on the Dark World side. So we'll see.
So the difference here is, will we get that? Will we get some important item here? There's one item.
It's now 3 blue potions.
Oh!
Ooh, okay.
All right, Master Sword. That is going to make a difference, but it is not necessarily a required item on account of the current. Wow, that's less than ideal there for Poochie.
I mean, he could have just fallen down. He only had 1 more floor to go anyway.
Yeah, and he could have definitely shot a switch from there. I believe the bow makes it no problem. And I just missed what was in Hookshot Cave completely.
I can tell you 3 out of 4 chests didn't have anything particularly special. I missed what the very first one was.
We see that the Bombos Medallion is in fact required for Turtle Rock.
And Myth did not run over to check Spike Cave, so that could be an interesting little bit as well.
Myth is actually going to flute away now.
Maybe to Mire. Yeah.
Yep. At least this way we can also confirm the medallion requirement for Misery Mire as well. It is also Bombos.
All right. Double Bombos.
So turns out the Ether Medallion will not be required today.
Nothing
The Quake
special.
Medallion won't be either, even though we have it.
Yeah. Opting not to duck into Mire, which I'm a little bit surprised by, to be honest, because you've got silver arrows, 13 hearts, and half magic.
The one thing we don't have is a lamp, and that's going to
That's a
Mire
good point.
very difficult for a lot of runners.
That's a very good point. We're going to get a King's Tomb check instead.
This is one of those weird scenarios where the lamp could actually be on the pedestal.
Ooh, yeah.
Which would
Big
be like
20.
the worst.
Truly, I mean, oh. That's
Like, I
just
hope you
awful.
know your dark rooms.
Yeah, that's just awful to even think about otherwise. Alright, headed back to the Village of Outcast area, so I imagine Myth will now go attempt Skull Woods and probably do the rest of the Village of Outcasts stuff that the Titansmiths opens up. Alright, that first chest here was, yeah, 20, so nothing at all interesting in here.
Garbage for days, in fact.
And Pucci accidentally hookshotted past one of the chests, so he's gonna have to reset himself.
He could have gone up to the top and come back around, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been that big a deal.
Also not a Spike Cave check from Puchiedarcy. So it remains a mystery.
Yeah. So if I'd been running that Death Mountain, I actually, after doing Spiral Cave, I would have gone back up through Paradox Cave, entered the Dark World on top of Turtle Rock, and opened it.
Yeah. That's definitely one option for sure. Alright, Pucci gonna use those flippers now. As Myth picks up item number 1 in Skull Woods, we know item number 2 is on Mothula now. He does not, so we'll be interested to see if he goes straight there, having done the front part. Yes, good move. Hobo has 10 arrows.
Womp womp.
Oh, and Myth getting grabbed by that Wallmaster. Not a huge deal in here, but still a pain. All right. So Waterfall Cave for Pucci and Skull Woods for Myth.
So people are asking about Magic Bat.
Oh, yeah.
That did become available. What I would do in this case probably is clear out Skull Woods, go pick up the blacksmith because I don't have the mirror, and then go turn in the blacksmith and do Magic Bat at that point.
Yeah, that's a good move. You can also get peg kegs done while you're picking up the blacksmith, so get the most for your routing time.
All right, we're gonna go visit everybody's favorite scam artist, Zora.
See what kind of scam we've got today. Oh!
We have a book salesman today.
Yeah, we have a college textbook.
And that is a scam. I'm a professor, I know this.
Yes, you do.
This is why I don't require textbooks for my classes.
That's a nice move. I would have appreciated you, that's for sure. Myth playing it safe, and nothing wrong with that at all. Just get this over. Get a full magic charge again to fire rod the heck out of Moth. Oh, getting trolled by that spike right in the way, but finally gets the killing blow, and the item is just a piece of heart. So Poochie not too far behind as a result of that death on Mothula. Now retracing Myth steps, checking the Mire Shed and Medallion. Oh, and Myth choosing to save and quit. Interesting choice. I can't remember if they've checked. Have they checked the bumper cave item?
Interesting. I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
So there's that, as well as what you were talking about. You've got powder now. You've got.
So Myth is doing the pod dip, which, you know, seems pretty strong to me.
Mm-hmm. It's a good play, that's for sure. Looks like Poochie's gonna get his half magic as well as drop into Desert Palace. So
sadly, Myth, I think the cave you were looking for there was in the light world.
Oh yeah. Poochie praying to the gods of Randomizer. The second dip into a pendant dungeon in the light world.
Mm-hmm. But with that book, it becomes a little more profitable.
Yeah.
You know, we can also check the tablets because of that
Right.
Master Sword.
You get a little suspicious of those locations. Well, so far, halfway there, and it's just a piece of heart, so... Myth discovering Palace of Darkness is bow locked, interestingly enough. So proceeding immediately to the right side. And lacking potions, making do another way, catching a couple of fairies here in the Any-Fair. It's a nice move. Big key for Poochie.
And just the compass.
No mirror, so a dash to the other side.
I think that's going to do it for the items in Desert.
Yeah. Not gonna take a pretty big risk that that pendant will be necessary for a pedestal check, so...
But at least Poochie managed to get that half magic while he was over there. So that sort of evens up the arsenal.
Yeah, for sure. It's always nice. Myth trying to bonk across, but it can be a little tough if you don't get lined up just right. No, he's a little too far to the left, and so he's getting deeper into that recessed part of the staircase and not getting the bonk off the front.
At some point, you just got to cut your losses and go around it.
Yes, you do. And gonna give it another shot. There we go.
That'll actually do it.
Yeah. Beetle knocking him back down the stairs. Pucci's got the pattern now. I'll be interested to see if he makes a different decision on it than Myth did.
Well, Pucci does look to be heading off to that catfish location as well. It is interesting that with the bow and hammer and such, that this late in the game, it's taken this long for either runner to take a dip into pod.
Yeah, agreed. Last chance for the lantern. It's not there, so...
I think there's a scenario in which it can be in the room below.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point. Myth looking for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and with the quantity of keys Myth has, I think you're right in this particular case. Very well may be in that room below.
Oh, how about the mirror? Oh.
Okay.
Alright, well, there's access to everybody's favorite wet dungeon.
Yes. And interestingly enough, you could possibly now have a situation where the lantern is like on, say, the graveyard ledge that you need the mirror to access. So another logically required, yeah. Logically required forced double dip. Meanwhile, Pucci, here it comes, chat.
Who's ready for pedestal hype? Just couch cash. Get out of here.
Dedestal tripe instead.
Alright, so Myth is attempting to navigate the dark maze of Pod. The one major issue with the dark maze of Pod is, unlike the other dark rooms in Pod, there are no torches.
Yeah, it's tough.
So even with the fire rod, you don't get any additional knowledge.
Picked up something, he's not sure what, and neither am I.
I think it had to be the big... Well, he was... I think he might not have picked it up. Or maybe the big key's in the big key chest.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer.
Alright, so Pucci is now going to get revenge on Mothula.
Oh, it was a sword. Good job by chat. He's now equipped with...
Oh yeah, I remember. Swords don't show up in the dark.
Yep. There's the big key.
Yeah.
And nice job of routing, knowing that with one key left, it's got to be a small key in the actual big key chest. So...
Right.
Headed back downstairs. Oh, to get some more fairies.
Fairies, potentially, yeah, okay, just gonna go that way.
Yeah. Fair
so
enough.
There's one item left here in Pod. It's either in the big chest or on Helmasaur.
Right, and probably the correct play is just going straight to Helmasaur, because you've got to do that anyway. And that is what Myth's going to do, and just hope. Pucci getting unlucky with Mothula's movement patterns, and those fire rod shots were not doing damage very much. Man, just stuck in these corners. Finally gets it.
There we go. Pucci taking down Moth. Revenge for the first fight. and gets the ever so elusive piece of heart.
Yeah. And for the moment, we're at crystal parity between the two runners, although that's about to change again. But it's 3-3 currently. I'd say these runners are probably pretty even as far as total progress. All right, now going to look for the torch as Pucci gets tattled on. Oh, gotta be close. Okay, shoot upward. There you go. That's so much easier.
Yeah. So you've got a limited amount of time before that torch goes out.
And just to be safe, gonna recharge it. There
I was gonna say, I'm often inclined to go ahead and light the other torch.
Yeah. Magic bat check over on Pucci's side. No, just 50 rupees.
Finding lots of 50s. I mean, I think there's only 7 of them in the game.
They have been all over the place, haven't they? All right, 17 hammers to Helmasaur King's face. And then it's silver arrow to the jewel time.
Alright, so Pucci, instead of heading over to Pod, which you know where the mirror is, looks like he's going to head to do some of the Smith chain stuff right now, which is unfortunate because you kind of want the mirror before you do that.
Absolutely true. Yeah, unfortunately, Myth finds the map on Helma, so has a decision to make whether to go back to the big key chest. Or the big chest, rather.
If the big chest holds an important item, like the ice rod,
oof,
that could be a problem. But I think that's the only thing it can hold at this point that we care about.
That we care about? Yeah?
I mean, the lamp, we kind of want to see the lamp, but that can't have the lamp.
Can't be there, yeah.
Because in the logic, it's behind a dark room.
That's right. Yeah, other than having a fetch quest item that doesn't lead to the lamp. You're right, Dr. Bob. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, honestly, for Myth to be checking this, but it's easy for us to say when we're sitting back not playing the game and having to...
Well, the other thing is, when it's the ice rod you're looking for, all logic goes out
That's
the
a
window.
good point, yeah. It's just anywhere.
Everything is gone.
Yep.
Like, nothing ever makes any more sense ever again.
Yeah. It really does have that effect on you, doesn't it? The Heartsmiths.
Man, if we had people who could make hearts, we'd have a lot better medical profession. Let's put it that way.
For sure. Myth hung up a little bit.
So Pucci looks like they're going for the Mire dip.
Yes. Okay, Myth's gotten to the bottom. Needs to then loop around a little bit to the right. There we go, I think. Well...
I think he's actually stuck above the area he needs to be in.
Gotta get...
there we go. Okay,
there we go.
There's the...
And now loop back around.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay, good. Got it.
Alright, so Pucci is now entering the forced kill room at the front of Mire.
Wrong blue rod cane thing.
Well, Brian, what are you doing leaving your cane in Pod?
Yeah. Especially all the way over there.
We got a magical blue stick, but it's not the one we wanted.
Now, we're going to see Lantern in Misery Mire.
Myth, on the other hand, looks like they're going to do the swamp play.
Yeah. Which numerically makes sense. Ooh, and we have a god big key in Misery Mire, so that could play heavily later if Myth is go-moding Mire.
Yes, unfortunately, that will not be the case for Pucci.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen the lamp in Mire way too many times.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get good and learn the map check here, or learn the dark rooms.
And Pucci opting to just head to the back.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how he handles this Samaria switch room. These fireballs just make your life a nightmare when you're trying to do this.
That's why he got the cape equipped.
Yeah, good move. Still looking for the pot.
It's below you, man.
Ooh. Goes ahead and turns that off. Okay, I think he's found it now. Well, maybe not.
Alright. So, if you wedge yourself into the left corner...
The corner, yeah.
Not the top corner, the left corner. Then you are, like, a block left and a block above the pot.
Okay. Yeah, gets hit by the... There, you've got it. Oh. That is too bad.
Alright,
go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Pucci's gonna go ahead and maybe get some more... Try some more chests here, I think.
Yeah, can do that. Would be a little ironic if one of them was the lantern. Ooh. Validation rupee for Myth. So swamp a little unkind so far. Yeah, Pucci just going ahead and quitting. Huh.
You're just like, you know what? How about no?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, fair enough. Can be awfully frustrating. And now looks like the swamp play is live for him as well.
Myth has only checked 2 of the locations in swamp so far.
Right.
I saw a green rupee in one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't see the other one, but it's swamp, so I just assume it's garbage.
Yeah.
That's the thing. In terms of new numbers, swamp seems like it would be great, but in terms of, you know, experience, it turns out to be garbage.
Right. Exactly.
Now, that being said, we may have misjudged the play Pucci was going to make, because he doesn't have the mirror, so he can't go to swamp.
Oh,
but he's going to go to pod.
Went to pod. A little bit unusual to see the runner do that from flute spot 4 rather than 5, but it certainly works. So we'll be getting his mirror too. $20 rupees in a compass on the left side of swamp, so Myth spinning his wheels a little bit. Well, we've got a little bit of a lull in the action. Why don't we all give a shout out and a thank you to our anonymous tracker behind the scenes today, Hollow Bro. Thank you very much for keeping all this stuff up to date for us.
Wait, I thought you said he was anonymous.
Yeah, I know. It's just because he's, you know, hiding back there. We never hear from him. That's all I meant by that. And Iago in chat, but lull in the action indeed.
All right. So, Myth checking the flooded chests and swamp. Let's see. Okay, got the big key, but he's not heading to the big chest just yet.
Having already gone to the left side, that makes more sense to go ahead and go back a little. Because you just...
Oh,
and a tempered sword.
Sword upgrade, actually.
And changes his mind and says, okay, yeah, I'll go back to the big chest.
He's actually going out the... It's actually a longer way.
It is a longer way.
At least this way you don't have to deal with the carnivorous staircase.
Yeah, right. Anytime you can avoid man-eating staircases, I suppose you're doing something right.
Now, if you have the boots, there's... Oh my goodness, are you kidding me right now? What is the lamp doing in the big chest of swamp?
Oh,
Get out.
Oh dear. Dear, oh dear.
The first two swords, one was in Chicken Hut, one was in the big chest of Hera, one was in the Dark Maze of Pod, and the remaining one is there in the Waterfall Room of Swamp. So, Poochie, I don't imagine Myth will be picking up the Butter Sword.
No, but Poochie ought to, almost certainly. And of course,
Mirror was in Pod, just where Poochie just picked it up.
Just gotten it, yeah. All right, Myth, loving that tempered sword right before Argus is just wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's the best time to get it.
Yeah, making quick work of these puffs. Nicely done so far. Getting a little bit of...
If you are familiar with your dark rooms, it looks like you could potentially go mode Swamp.
Yeah. Could.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Unless Argus has, like, the ice rod, in which case...
yeah, forget about
probably
it.
have to clear a bunch. That is not the ice rod.
Nope.
Right, we were out of items. I forgot to count.
Hey, we're busy talking. We don't have time to count stuff.
Numbers are, in fact, overrated.
So...
says the computer science professor.
Exactly, I mean, come on. Crystal number 5. We've got Misery Mire now open to logic, and Turtle Rock is open to logic, but we still don't have the ice.
What I'm saying is, you know, if they go into Swamp and they're still looking for the ice rod, of course they won't go mode it. But if they're familiar with their dark rooms and can clear the other dungeons, they could choose to do Swamp last.
Right. Might never find the lantern because you've already found the ice rod elsewhere, so you're not looking for the lantern.
So now Myth is going to go into Mire and will actually be able to see.
Definitely a big advantage, especially in that first dark room. Also be interested to see exactly how Myth routes this, because we're fairly certain Poochie didn't... Did Poochie even pick up one item?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
He picked up the big key and a small key in 2 chests and then pieced out. Lamp was in the big chest of Swamp Palace.
Oh, what a location.
Which is great because it was locked behind 5 pod small keys.
Yeah. So sure enough, pod by logic is a double dip first. But not for these guys. Both these guys going to finish up pod very nicely.
So Pucci went directly for Helmasaur after picking up the mirror.
I can see that play.
He didn't go for the Dark Maze just yet.
Right.
I think he may go back for it.
Exactly.
Noting that there are several items left.
You're routing it like you don't have the mirror, basically, but you've picked it up, so say it might not occur to you, oh wait, I don't have to and save and quit when I reach the last chest. Which is a more, I'd say just a slightly more savvy way to do it when you don't have it.
Alright, so Pucci takes down Helmasaur. It's going to be Pucci's 4th crystal.
Myth's certainly not shying away from using that powder, and good on him, because, I mean, it is an underrated item, I feel like.
Pucci is just leaving items.
Wow, interesting.
Interesting. Maybe he just really doesn't want to do that dark room.
Maybe not. It's the correct call, as it happens. And, of course...
I mean, unless you want the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying a couple of minutes ago, he's almost certain to get the Butter Sword, but now, perhaps not. But we'll get the Tempered, presumably now, as he dips into Swamp Palace. Myth going ahead to the vanilla big key chest here, so a long cutscene. Assuming we don't find that ice rod here in Mire, Dr. Bob, what do you think a good next play might be?
So I am one of those weird people who, at the point that I've beaten Mire, I would probably dip Turtle Rock looking for the ice rod.
Well, I don't think that's a terribly weird play. It's a gamble, sure, but gosh, a seed with nothing for progression in Turtle Rock is pretty rare, even up to
and I would actually take a 50-50 shot. I did this the other day, actually. If I was down to Swamp and Turtle Rock, I would flip a coin.
So which one's heads and which one's tails?
I think Swamp is heads.
Okay. All right, small shield, the second item in Misery Mire. So a bust in our search for that last item. I, for some reason, have an affinity for Ice Palace, so I'm thinking I might actually consider a dip into Pendant Ice Palace, looking for that ice rod before I go up to Turtle Rock.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's not the worst idea.
Good.
It's not the worst idea. The reason I want to go up to Turtle Rock, really, is there's, especially if you have Pucci, is because there's a couple of additional items up there I can check along with Turtle Rock.
Sure.
Specifically, Spike Cave and Ether Tablet.
Good point. That does increase the value for sure. Chat talking about the risks that Pucci has taken so far, and they're really keeping him in this race right now. The way that it's rounding out, really just Myth's routing has turned out to be, you know, kind of by chance better. The earlier Palace of Darkness play leading to the mirror sooner, and then that meant getting the lantern. So Myth not having any trouble with the dark rooms here in Misery Mire, whereas Pucci had to leave. So, if not for those gambles that Pucci's made, he might be looking at an insurmountable deficit, but as it stands, I don't think that's the case. Nicely done by Myth on Vitreous. Gets the key and throws a few beams around it. Crystal number 6 in hand.
Alright, so we'll get to see where Myth decides to take this run next. Well, it said Myth found a shield. What was the other item in Misery Mire?
Piece of heart. So,
Piece of heart.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was a 5-arrow upgrade.
Oh, okay. Myth hasn't dipped Desert yet, which Pucci did earlier.
Nice bit of routing.
Yeah.
You're
That'll be a perfectly fine play.
Yeah. Might also see Checkerboard Cave, at least I hope so.
Yeah, I don't think we'd seen that yet.
No. Might have even considered doing that first before coming in here, but either way, it ought to work out.
The pedestal is, in fact, completely dead. We did get a check. It was a 20 rupees, I believe.
Yeah.
I would say 20 or 50, but I think we've seen all the 50s.
True. Myth's gonna go ahead and check the chest, which since this is a pendant dungeon, makes sense.
He's going to find out that it is a piece of heart, so that's going to be a little... That's going to give him both items in here. So I imagine we won't be taking the trip to Landmo.
Pucci also avoiding the carnivorous staircase, as you put it, Doc. And gets his tempered sword. Ooh, and avoiding the big chest altogether. This could be a big deal.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes back for it. He didn't go back for the Dark Maze and Pod, so who knows?
Yeah.
We've got bees!
And Myth says, sure, I'll take a B.
We can see if it's a B or a B plus if he pulls it out here in a second.
True. Alright, flute 2. Number 3, so maybe purple chest. Oh, and all the rest of the stuff. He's not done any of it.
Yeah, and with the mirror, it's going to be a much faster check.
Real quick. Still no book, though, for Myth, so that's something Pucci's got access to, at least.
Yeah, to be honest, I would not be surprised to see Pucci throw in a Bombos tablet check here in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to see Bumper Cave and probably Graveyard Ledge.
I would think, yeah. Okay. Triple boom, and on we go.
Pucci, where are you going?
Maybe
making a liar out of me.
Quote-unquote K45.
Oh, that could be a thing.
You could do that really after you do the Bombos check, though.
I don't think it matters really. I don't think there's that much of a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pucci is leaving the lamp.
Yeah.
In Swamp.
One gamble too many, potentially.
And we saw him have a little bit of trouble with that Misery Mire Dark Room earlier, so it's going to be pretty devastating if he leaves that behind for the whole race.
It looks as if he will. And also no Bombos tablet, so gonna do purple chest now.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll take care of purple chest and
then
do Bombo's tablet while we're at it.
That's
Yeah,
sensible. And
that seems fine.
oh, I thought Myth might be doing what I said, but no, Myth checked the swimming.
Yeah,
location.
so I think he's gonna go get the book here in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Myth now flutes to 8.
Seems like we might see a... Oh, he's... well,
Oh.
stop making a liar out of me.
Alright, purple chest, heart container, and
Alright, go into the whirlpool.
go into the Bombo's tablet. So here we go.
Where is our magical ice machine today?
It is a B+, incidentally. Nope.
Nice.
And Arrow Plus times 10.
Myth's gonna get some free bottle contents.
Maybe it'll be a B+ again. Yeah.
It is! It is a B+. One of the runners has in fact checked the pedestal.
That was Poochie. Myth still doesn't know, but doesn't seem interested either, so...
Well, he doesn't have the book yet, so...
Oh, well, that's certainly
He's
one
about
reason not to be interested.
Because the book is on Zora.
Yep, here it is. Now is Poochie making the play? Poochie is making the play.
We are dipping Pendant Ice Palace, ladies and gentlemen. Green Pendant Ice Palace, may I add.
Yeah, important point. And for Poochie, this dip has two purposes. Still looking for that lantern, as well as the ice rod. Of course, we know he's already skipped right past the chest that had the lantern in Swamp Palace. All right, Myth now very interested in the pedestal. So, gonna take care of that, and then I wonder if we'll see the same play, or if Myth opts instead just to go on up to Dark World Death Mountain and Turtle Rock. That key in the front certainly makes routing Ice Palace a lot more simple.
Oh, absolutely. It means you can reach the right-hand side early and not have to do any fancy bomb jumps to make it efficient.
Yeah.
With the Cane of Samaria and that small key, it's actually less efficient to do the bomb jump.
Right.
Assuming you're trying to full clear the dungeon.
Yeah. There's the potential the items might fall so that you don't ever have to walk back up the stairs after falling down that hole in the room with the pegs. But yeah, generally speaking, you can skip the bomb jump and save yourself about 5 seconds. But Poochie's gonna go ahead and go for it. He does it first try. Nicely done.
Yeah, if you're pretty consistent with the bomb jump, it's relatively neutral.
Yeah.
It's not like it's extremely more efficient to not.
No, it's not some massive difference for sure. 4 out of 5 on the spin slash and gets the hook shot on the last one.
Interestingly enough, Poochie deciding not to head right immediately with that small key.
And maybe wants to check this chest first since it's a pendant dungeon, and if it's the item he wants, just leave. It's not, and that's exactly what he's doing.
He does have one of the items now. Myth is going to go ahead and do those smith chains a little more efficiently because that mirror in hand during this particular setup
really helps. Thinking a fairly likely big key in this chest. No, the other dungeon item.
Could very well be in the spike chest.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, can technically be an iced tea, but that's like the worst.
Yeah, don't want to see that.
Why would you wish that on anyone?
Not there.
Anyway.
So yeah, with some clever bomb jumping, okay, Pucci's not going to try that, but is going to come down this northern iced tea room and dash down, I imagine.
And that's why he checked the Freezor room first, so he wouldn't have to do bomb jump.
Bomb jump, right. So yeah, that earlier bomb jump is going to save Pucci from the necessity of changing the crystal polarity, if you like. Or just a trip down the stairs, depending on how he ends up in the real question. Oof, really getting trolled in that room. Meanwhile, Myth retracing Pucci's steps and finding the square root of next to nothing, as Pucci did. So, alright, last item on Cold Stare, which we were probably going to see anyway because this is the pendant dungeon.
Oh, we're doing infinitesimals now? We're down to surreal numbers? Sounds fun.
Absolutely. I'm not even really a math guy, but...
Yeah, nobody has gone to Turtle Rock.
Nobody. So we've still got that wide open. Pucci, good strategy here from a resources standpoint. Use the bombos to break open Cold Stare's shell, and you've got a lot of ice rod shots, or a lot of cape. That's a good move. Just slash him into the corner, not worry about taking any damage, and back into the other corner. Nicely done. Really smooth fight there by Pucci, but finds absolutely nothing. So
that is the third item in Ice Palace. However, we still have that green pendant.
Yeah,
that Pucci could turn in.
Really should have an instant check here. There's no reason to dally with that, with the flute.
And it looks like Myth is going to be heading up Death Mountain.
Okay.
This may culminate in a Turtle Rock check.
Yep, this is the play. Is he going to go up to Ether Tablet? Yes.
Oh, so, I imagine so.
Good move.
This might be Ether Tablet into Spike Cave, followed by a save and quit and back to Turtle Rock.
Definitely could see that. And yep, Pucci's going to turn this in immediately. This is really probably the decider here. Do you think, Dr. Bob?
Yeah, it could be that. However, if we know what okay, so no ice rod there, but even if it had been the ice rod, it could have been still problematic for Pucci because he seems to be uncomfortable in mire without that lamp.
With the lamp, yeah. It's a good point. Has every reason to believe the lamp could be in Turtle Rock as well, so it seems to be the play.
And Myth gonna prove me wrong yet again, actually going into Hera because he skipped the chests in here, and is gonna try to find the ice rod in here. He's not going to do so, but he will find the 4th sword.
Yeah, gonna prove me wrong too. We're gonna have the opposite runners. What I said, having gold and tempered swords. Nice use of the Cane of Samaria to get some invincibility frames and just hang out while these tiles do their thing.
Yes, Brian, everybody, as everyone knows, this is Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Ice Rod.
All right.
I believe that's the subtitle of version 29, is that correct?
It sure seems like it's been the subtitle for many versions lately.
Alright, Poochie hits up the Ether Tablet as well, gets a red rupee. We'll see where he heads next. It's a Spike Cave check.
Okay. At 14 hearts, coming in here, arguably had enough health with hookshot strats to avoid using the cape. But no worries if you've got to use a little bit of magic to get to the back.
Red mail. Hey, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
No, certainly not. Mountain Cave. So, going to be headed east. Myth finds bottle number 4. Choosing to bomb jump here doesn't really need to. Does a nice job with the dash. Gets that butter sword and is out of here.
It definitely realizes he can mirror out immediately.
Now Poochie's going to try Meyer again.
Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting. So we thought he was headed to Turtle Rock, but no.
I know he was going to go ahead and heal up just to make sure. So at this point, the entire contents of all the pendant dungeons have been checked, including the green pendant turn-in and the pedestal.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Oh! Myth letting go of the Cane of Burna early.
Oh, he's got fairies.
He does, but oh. Just a painful mistake to make.
Luckily, I think we can. I think we can pretty much say that Ice Rod's basically got to be in Turtle Rock.
So,
or something leading to it.
Right. Yeah.
Could have the mushroom or something silly.
Yeah, we've pretty much. Uh-oh, and that's where Myth's headed, following Poochie's footsteps. The two have just been trading paths back and forth. So Myth so tantalizingly close to just diving into Turtle Rock, but chooses not to.
For all intents and purposes, Mimic Cave is part of Turtle Rock. I mean, it's not, but it is.
But it is, yeah. Of course, as I like to always say, every single time I find myself checking Mimic Cave, it's never Mimic Cave.
I've had it be Mimic Cave a few times.
I've maybe had it.
Shot in there.
Yeah, a time or two, but it still feels like it never is.
Yeah, like I said, I would have gone to Turtle Rock right after doing Meyer. That being said, there's no way I could have known that was correct. Because it's the Ice Rod, and the Ice Rod makes no sense.
The least sense-making item in the game.
Whatever sort of predictive model you try to build about this particular randomizer, when the Ice Rod is involved, it breaks down.
Yes, it does.
Dig spot was 50 rupees. I know this because we've seen so many 50 rupees.
Myth was early chucking that skull head at the Stalfos and still very nearly slashed him into the bomb explosion. Just missed it. Gonna go ahead and set up the bomb jump as well. So both runners opting to do that in Ice Palace. And now Pucci headed for his previous nemesis in here, the dark room downstairs. Myth, nice job getting that bomb jump.
Oh, and then he takes a fall.
Oh!
Have to do it again.
That's a shame.
That looks good.
There we go. Alright, Pucci. Find that darn thing. You know, still having trouble. Going to go ahead and mirror out. Yeah, once again, boy, that's just got to be
Having a good old-fashioned nope situation here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I think he's probably going to head back for... Oh, no, he's going up to Death Mountain again. The Turtle Rock play might be it.
Yeah, that's just about all that's left now.
Oh, come on.
Maybe quicker to save and quit, quite frankly.
Now the Dead Rocks are just being mean.
Yeah. Pucci really has no reason to go to sleep. I know we want to see him do that, but...
Well, I mean, if he's... The good news is, when he comes out of Turtle Rock, he'll probably have the Ice Rod. And so he'll only be looking for the lamp. And if he knows his logic, he knows there's only one place it can be.
That's true. Covered. Alright, Myth attempting the bomb jump. Very nicely done.
Yeah, pretty good. A lot of these bomb jumps, there's some pretty nice setups you can do.
Yeah.
So there's this thing where you can sort of hold your sword out and kind of sort of start falling into the hole and then immediately turn around and let go of your sword.
Dance on the edge there.
Yeah. Once you start spinning, you're on the last pixel you can let go. Alright, so Pucci. What is wrong with me? Words. Pucci is entering Turtle Rock. We'll get to see where that ice rod is. If it's not in here, I am at a loss.
I can't think of anything either. Turtle Rock is one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals, so it can't be in the pyramid. So yeah, we're pretty much out of stuff, guys. We're full clearing the game just to find the ice rod. And a discouraging start for Pucci with a 5-bomb upgrade in the first chest.
And that means we will see at most one more item in the first few chests here. Because you're going to have at least 2 small keys and a big key going up to the big key chest.
Yeah. Alright, Myth ready for his cold stare fight. Gonna go ahead and fire rod this with the butter sword, may as well. Release that spin just in time, but wasn't able to keep him in the corners.
There's the double small key on the right-hand side of Turtle Rock.
And Myth finishes up the cold stare fight, so last item and green pendant.
He's going to find out after turning in this pendant that he needs to be in Turtle Rock. As long as he heads toward Turtle Rock, I'd say this is probably Myth's race to lose.
Yeah, it's got to be. If Pucci had been able to pull off that Meyer play on the second try, maybe we'd be looking at something different, but...
There's a third small key, so we definitely have the big key in the big key chest.
Yes, on the Lava Island.
And then the next two chests are before the dark room. Now, we know Pucci had problems with the Meyer dark room, but he seemed to be okay with the Eastern dark room.
Right.
And at least one or two of the pod dark rooms, including the turtle room. So
Myth bombing Sahasrara as he picks up his 20 rupees from him.
And so forgot what I was gonna say. And so we'll see if he's familiar with this Turtle Rock dark room, is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's not the Turtle Rock dark room, at least to my knowledge, is not that bad.
No, as long as you've got kind of the path mentally committed, you know where to push which button to get yourself sliding along, you're fine. But then again, you get stuck in the dark in there, and you can just spin all over the place before you get your direction back. So as long as you stay on path, you can be okay.
Here's our Mimic Cave check. Is it Mimic Cave? Or is it never Mimic Cave? I do not believe that Ice Rod could be at Aga, unfortunately. It is not Mimic Cave.
Surprise, surprise. Yes, exactly.
There it is. It's in the big chest of Turtle Rock, right behind Mimic Cave.
That is why you'll see some runners check that chest first when they're looking for one last item before committing time to go into Mimic Cave.
Alright, so Ice Rod found in Turtle Rock, in the big chest. So when Myth arrives at that Ice Rod, he should be in go mode.
And Pucci certainly too, from a technical standpoint, in go. But we'll see if he's able to make the play.
Oh, and Myth getting the door shut right in his face. Oh, this is really unfortunate. I think we're gonna have another door slam situation.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, one thing Myth should realize, there is a magic refill under that pot.
Right there.
He had the presence of mind to reset those torches.
Yeah,
good
good
another
move.
shot at it.
Good move. Okay, plenty of time here. Pucci out of magic on the laser bridge. Never found the Cane of Berna because he's bailed out of some dungeons, if I recall correctly. So,
yeah, Cane of Berna, as we recall, was in the big chest of Palace of Darkness.
there we go.
Which, as we also recall, Next door was the remaining sword upgrade.
Yes.
Why Pucci does not have the butter sword, nor does he have the lamp, which is because he skipped the big chest of Swamp Palace.
Right.
Pucci does make it through the Turtle Rock Dark Room without much issue.
Yeah, that was nicely done. Oof. Myth now imprisoned by the chain chomps. Manages to get out.
Alright, so if Pucci knows his logic, he should know exactly where the lamp is if he wants to go get it.
Yeah, it's just a matter now of keeping your brain organized while you're doing all these other things. Unlucky there. The ice head continuing to spit out its slicky stuff. Alright. But he should be fine. It shouldn't even play a role, hopefully, over there on the right side of the room. Nicely done.
And of course, Garfield's bunny sprite is Odie. What else would it be? Alright, so Pucci getting his 6th crystal. Misery Meyer still eludes him at the moment because of that lamp.
Fluting 2. Number 3.
I guess people are making other arguments for what Garfield's sprite should be, or bunny sprite should be. We're getting some Johns and some Normals, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Why not? Okay, so Pucci headed, to... Well...
Yeah, I think Pucci has not done Graveyard Ledge.
Okay. So yeah, that would also be in logic for the lantern.
Yes, but unfortunately, we know this isn't it. And I went to Pucci's actual stream just to see if he had a tracker on stream.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. I wanted to see if maybe he had marked all the chests in Swamp as checked.
Myth197 at an hour 53 enters go mode, very angry.
Myth, you don't have time to be salty. You gotta go.
Pucci making a play.
Yeah, your opponent's about to pick up the lamp and go to Meyer and finish this up. So it's still, not outside the realm of possibility that this race could be close.
It's true.
Save the salt for the post game, ladies and gentlemen.
Myth really doing a nice job, pretty much cruising through Turtle Rock at this point. And Myth finds that small key and can just get out. Definitely.
That is exactly what Myth is doing. And just throwing this out there, this will be our 7th crystal for Myth, so right as Myth grabs it, we will be starting the Big Key guessing game, which is the game where you put in a number between 1 and 22 where you think the big key will be, and we have a leaderboard set up for those who have subscribed to one of these speed gaming channels or donated 250 bits or more. Other than that, feel free to play along either way, but that will be starting after the Trinex fight goes down, and it will be a short window because we cut it off as soon as Myth enters Ganon's tower.
Right. To everyone guessing in chat, you're early. Nicely done by Myth. Just a simple double spin followed by one slash to the head.
Looks like the game didn't start correctly.
So make sure you get those guesses in twice, if we ever get it started.
That looks like the bot is down, but have fun
Shame.
with that. And, you know, just for that, it's gonna be 14, and I'm gonna be really sad.
Oh, I think just for that, it's got to be 22, because the bot's trolling us, so of course the seed's going to troll us.
All right, onto the right-hand side. Myth gets a small key in the first chest, a map in the second, and he's gonna go right side.
I do like this play in the...
So I like the right side play depending on how many keys you find early, but I like to go ahead and hit the, what's it called, the Stalfos room either way.
Sure.
There's the big key, right-hand side. That is chest number 4.
Yes, it is.
Myth's going to go ahead and head to the left side here, hoping to find a key either on the torch or definitely finding a key under the pot. Though oftentimes when I find the big key in one of the either the rando room or the right side compass room, I find it profitable to check the remaining chests because it is possible that one of those could be a small key as well.
Yeah, and fairly possible. It's definitely a decent chance, so I'm with you. Alright, Myth's got a gauntlet climb ahead to finish this thing off.
Alright, so Myth is now heading up to the Gauntlet of Ganon's Tower. Poochie is on the way to Ganon's Tower as well. So both of our runners will be in Ganon's Tower at the same time. which to me always feels pretty good if I'm in Ganon's tower when my opponent finishes, because that means I'm not too far behind.
Yeah, and especially considering some of the bad fortune Puchiedarcy has had, he can certainly hang his hat on that. Myth opting to powder this anti-fairy, which throws off the timing a little bit in this room with Moldorm, or with Landmollas rather, the other worm. Still manages to get 2 of them though. Nice job. Pucci unfortunately switched to the left side, so I'm not going to find that big key.
So Poochie's going to have to go a little bit out of the way. Oh, but we found the mushroom.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
There's another small key for Poochie, and another. So yes, this is one of the scenarios where I would mirror and go right side at this point. I have an algorithm and it's bad. I've gotten rid of one thing because it cost me a win.
Ooh, that's a bummer. Myth doing a nice job with the pot to kill off that mini Helmasaur and get the key. The bomb will not slide down the conveyor belt if there's another bomb present, so Myth had to manually place that next one.
Interesting. I was not even aware of that. I just thought it was on the wall.
It might have also been on the wall, but yeah, he had potentially 2 problems there. Oh! Moldorm taking the lead in the series between these two. But Myth gets him back.
Oh, Myth looked like he was going to grab that last chest, but you know what? There isn't really much of a reason to.
There isn't. There's plenty of reason to juke all of us, which is what he did.
Get trolled, chat.
Oh. Oh, so close. There it is. Yep. Able to escape.
And we move on to Mr. Geometry Wizard himself. Aghanim 2.
This has some potential. Oh! Did that count for 3?
That only counted as 2.
Yeah,
but it
sounded like it.
It was really good.
Yes, it was. Might have some more potential here as long as there's no blue ball. Oh, but splits right around Aghanim, both of those.
Oh, it only counted as 1.
Wow, what a ripoff. There we go.
That was a triple single.
Yeah, boy. That's just brutal.
Myth wanted to continue the song.
Yeah.
Slash, 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 slash.
Alright, Pucci now going to find the big key in the chest on the right side as Myth heads into Ganon, and with that gold sword, got a nice and leisurely couple of phases at him with just 6 slashes on each. Already done with that first one. And he knows it. And done with the second. Nicely put together there. Good use of the hook shot. And on to phase 3. Why, yes, Myth did. Going for that initial hit. 1 out of 4 silver arrows have connected, and then he's knocked off.
Myth takes a fault again, and as Poochie begins the climb up the gauntlet, it's going to take a little more than that to catch Poochie up.
Ooh, Myth getting dangerously close to activating a major glitch by accident using a bottle in the doorway.
Whoops.
Yeah, that was potentially very interesting.
Even like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Where did this loot menu come from? Actually, I don't know what happens there.
All right, take 2. 1 fall to Moldorm. Will we see 1 fall again? Someone in chat, please go ahead and answer, because I don't know a lot about YBA. Oh, we've got a bot command that Dr. Bob is taking care of for us. Very trolly Ganon in this 3rd phase, but he finally gets his act together and stops for a second.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a fixed RNG for the teleports, but that only works for the very first fight, and it keeps progressing as you move along.
Right. Okay. Take 2.
You're only going to be able to get 1 on that
from that position, right? Certainly no shortage of arrows, however. Same there. So 2 more to go. And misses.
Only fires left.
Gotta be careful here. Okay, that's fine.
Steer clear of the pig and make sure your arrow flies true.
This could be a double. Yes,
there
it is.
There we go. And the pig falls. Looks like Myth is in a safe spot to just hold up here.
Yeah. Certainly had an interesting situation with that yesterday. But Myth197 has done it.
Yep, the official time on that, 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 52 seconds. So congratulations to Myth on that win.
And in perhaps record time, we have Myth197 with us. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Wow, indeed. Nicely done. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm so pumped right now. Oh, I can't believe I won.
Oh yeah. So what happened with your opponent was he skipped the big chest and swamp.
Oh.
And he was unfamiliar with the Mire dark rooms.
Yeah, unable on 2 attempts down there to get through them.
Yeah, as soon as I went back for the big chest and saw the lamp in there, I just had a huge sigh of relief because I know most of the dark rooms in the game. The only dark room I'm not comfortable with is Mire. So as soon as I knew I didn't have to do Mire dark room, that was like a huge weight lifted off my chest.
And we noticed you were kind of wavering on whether to go back for the big chest. Went ahead and got that tempered sword out of the next chest first, and then went ahead and turned around.
Yeah. Also, it was because of that the glitch with the staircase where it sends you back around. So I was like, I don't want that to happen. So I went and got the chest in the waterfall room, and then went back for the big key, the big chest.
there is a way to make that not happen, but it's kind of technical and weird. So, yeah, you just initiate a dash from the very bottom of the room, go up the stairs, hold left, and you're good. But that being said, you did an excellent job making sure to get that chest done. Your opponent actually skipped the Dark Maze of Pod as well and did not get the 4th sword upgrade. He actually got the one in Hera long before you did.
Yeah. I popped into Hera really early, and then I just thought, no, this is going to take too long, so I just left, and then came back later.
Yeah, looking for that ice rod. The ice rod is everyone's least favorite troll item.
Yes, sure is, isn't it?
I made a huge gamble on thinking it's not going to be in Turtle Rock, and I literally searched everywhere else other than Turtle Rock, and then that was the only place left. At that point, I thought I'd lost.
Well, the good news is your opponent really did the same thing, basically.
Yeah, he really did. He really did.
As soon as I finished Turtle Rock and got to...
Yeah, go ahead.
As soon as I got to Ganon's Tower and saw that the key was on right side, I thought he must have not gone into Turtle Rock straight away and gone looking for the ice rod as well, same as what I did.
He actually finished Turtle Rock about when you picked up the ice rod. But he hadn't done Mire yet because he still didn't have the lamp. So he had to go back to Swamp and get the lamp, then go to Mire, and then come back up. So that was the real difference there at the end.
And he did have one check left that was in logic for the lamp, and that was the Graveyard Ledge, which you had checked significantly earlier. So, yeah, you gained plenty of buffer time with all of that.
So, can we talk about how Aghanim ripped you off real bad?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I thought I got a triple.
Yeah, it was a triple that turned out to be 1, which is so dumb.
I was counting it. I counted to 6, and I'm like, hang on, why isn't he dead yet? And then I hit him a couple more times, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So they were within a frame or two of each other, all 3 of those balls that you hit them with.
Oh.
And so they didn't count, except for the 1. Really a bummer.
Those last 3 bosses really trolled me.
Oh, I thought you did a real nice job on Trinex leading into Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah. Trinex was near perfect. I think that was one of the best Trinexes I've ever done.
That was great.
The Moldorm 2 fight, I fell off. And yeah, Ganon, I fell off again.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal, though, once you get it taken care of. So,
Speaking of
Pucci here is on the Ganon fight.
He's into phase 4. He's just going to safely do the torch glitch with a low amount of magic, so maybe not a terrible idea.
Oof, gets a little bodied by a fire bat there.
Able to get 1 shot off. Now he might have a nice position here. Yeah, if he was late. He actually got a silverless slash in. And he's silverlessing him again.
I didn't know you could silverless as he phased in.
I think it's because, well, actually, yeah, it's a good point. But he did recoil off him as if he had. Who knows what happened?
Interesting.
Yeah. Is he now just going to silverless him? No. Switching back to the arrows.
Alright, a couple more shots ought to do it.
Yeah, just 1 more, I think. You can get over there. No, it was late.
Just barely tinked off right at the end.
Yeah, that's the risk you take trying to do a spin slash off of him as if you're bad. But he gets him there.
Yep, and that's going to do it. What, Pucci? Don't fall down.
Easy.
Don't you do it.
Okay. And seed.
All right, so Pucci finished and hasn't hit the done button.
Yeah, he also reset his timer, so maybe he's just thrown in the towel, but he finished in our hearts, and certainly on our stream. So Myth, early on, tell us about how you felt like that eventual path to the Dark World went. I mean, it was pretty quick the way the seed fell together, and then things just kind of opened up for you.
Yeah, it was really linear. It seemed every single dungeon you went to, it gave you the item to the next dungeon, and it was just a really solid route throughout the entire game, all the way up to Misery Mire, and then you have to just kind of YOLO it and go into Turtle Rock blind without the ice rod, and it's a really fast seed. It's just that I did a 100% clear of it.
Well, it had the potential, but I mean, you definitely had to make a couple of moves that it's understandable not being comfortable with, because it's a pretty significant time sink if it turns out wrong. Of course, in this case, it wouldn't have.
Now, it does look like Poochie will not be joining us today. He's got to go to work, but...
the ultimate troll after...
Congratulations to him on finishing.
Yeah, well done. Very well done. Well, all right, Myth. So you're now on to 3-3 record. As I'm sure you're aware, it's pretty unlikely you're going to be advancing to brackets, but you've got one match left. We were talking pre-match about when the pressure's off a little bit, you know, you have the opportunity to have a little fun. Is there anything you think, you know, you might attempt in your final race, or you know, give a shot to?
I'm not sure. I haven't been doing these races very seriously. I'm so surprised that I've won 3 games in the first place. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, I'll cook something up.
Well, hey, that sounds great. We look forward to seeing it. Well, Dr. Bob, it's been good calling this one with you.
Yeah, it has been pretty good. I want to go ahead and thank both of our runners, Poochie and Myth, for putting on this show today. And I want to thank, once again, our illustrious tracker, Hollow Bro, for taking care of the icons on the screen for everybody.
Great job.
And, of course, to you, my co-commentator, Justin Z. Thank you very much for riding along with me today.
Well, much appreciated. It was my pleasure. Thanks for me too.
All right. So make sure to, if you enjoyed what you saw here, make sure to give a follow to the people involved if you'd like to support them. And, of course, make sure to stay tuned to the Speed Gaming and ALTTP Randomizer channels for all the rando that you can stando for the next few weeks. It's going to be great. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap things up. So I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And this is Justin Z. So long, everybody.
See you later.